Hello, and thank you for joining us for another fun-filled episode of Karmic Woof. Hee hee hee. Um,
Hello, hello.
eh, yes, and I will say this: follow the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader, and in this case, don't, because that's our topic for today: leadership, and in particular, clean leadership.
Clean leadership. Okay, so I looked at this and I actually looked up the what the heck that means.
Mm.
Okay, so clean leadership focuses on integrity, authenticity, and actionable communications to break down organizational barriers and eliminate ineffective, repetitive meetings. It emphasizes empathy, active listening, and getting hands-on to understand operational details. This approach drives organizational success, fosters trust, and encourages transparent, value-aligned work.
It sounds pretty good to me.
So there's a whole bunch of nominalizations there
Yes.
because all of those words mean something to, different somethings to different people.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm going to say, yay, them.
Here we go.
Good for you. Go do that.
Now,
That has nothing
now,
to do with Bond.
to be transparent here, put out a poll on Spotify and to see, what do you guys want to listen to? What do you want us to talk about? And I put like I can't even remember what I put. It was either poison this or it was clean that. It was like, do you want us to talk about poison food or clean food, poison water, clean water, poison air or clean air, poison education, clean education, poison leadership, clean leadership, and unanimously, all of the votes came back as poisoned or clean leadership, which my first instinct was clean leadership. So that's what we're going to talk about, clean leadership, because that's what you wanted to hear. So we're complying with what people say they want to hear, which is why I always say at the end of each episode, tell us your ideas, your thoughts. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about? So here we are actually doing the thing that you said you wanted.
So thank you so much for the feedback,
Yes.
by the way.
Thank you.
That's
Absolutely. Yeah.
fantastic.
We love feedback. Keep it coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the next thing that I want to say is that we do have leadership inside of Bond. It just
Yes.
doesn't look like this at all.
No.
We have Bonku, which is the the top, top,
Yeah. Because he's enlightened.
the enlightened,
Yeah.
right?
We're not. We're
But
not.
right. But Bonku is literally a Bon teacher. So those are the the ones that have gone before. Now, some of them, like Kurukula, she was here on
Yeah.
Earth, and then she lived an entire life. She grew old with the people that she knew. She had wisdom that she could pass on as a young person and as an older person. So she truly did live the life here. Holy bananas. Like, that's pretty cool, right? Our Banku is doing the same thing.
Mm.
So that being said, we as Bonpo are not we're not, bottom feeders. I mean, it's
No.
not like
Yeah.
we're like, the
There, yeah, we don't have
end.
a huge like many religions. I'm not saying we're a religion. We're really not. We're a way. But many religions have this hierarchy. You're a this, and then you're a priest, and then you're a bishop, and then you're an apostle, whatever. There's like
Right.
this. We don't have that. We
Well,
have
we do,
Bonpo, Bonku, right?
but we also have Shen
Well, we do in the Jorpa, but
and Neljorpa. So Neljorpa are like the wizards,
yeah,
they just go out there and play with magic, and like, how
mm,
freaking cool is that? And then the
right,
Shen are more like priests, where they can
right.
actually, use an empowerment egg and help to transmit the teachings from a Banku.
And they actually went through a some sort of an enlightened process. They just didn't make it
And
the full time.
right, and so did the Neljorpa, just a
Right.
less time, right?
We did
So
not, so that's why we're Bonpo, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
There is no box
No.
except the ones that we build, which is
Yeah.
not the same thing and kind of bad. Anyway, so I started thinking about this. I have had a lot of um, moments this week where I said, "Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong."
I have too. Strangely enough.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's been a cool week. It's
Maybe
been
that's the week for that. Yeah.
it's been a rough week. I'm not going to say that any of it was easy, but it was necessary, and that
Yeah, it's been.
is
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's been a rough
so.
week.
One of the things that I found is that I've known this for a long time. This is not an aha moment. This is just the basis for what I learned this week. But I store all of my stress, all of your stress, all of everyone in the world's stress in
Your
my
battery.
body.
Oh, that's not a good battery. No, you're not the Energizer Bunny, by the way.
Although in my head I am.
And you're you are. Yes, absolutely. I
I'm
see
one
that.
rabbit that thinks it is. So I I'm judgmental and in all the wrong ways, right? So I've been working on this specifically so that when I look at other people, I don't just see their potential and I don't just see their faults. I see where their faults can reach their potential.
Okay, well, that's
So
good. It's good. I like that.
so you would think that as a coach, that would be a good thing.
All right.
I am not a therapist. I'm not the person that you come to for sympathy. I am not going to tell you to, write it all down and then we'll talk about it all. No, if you need to write it down, please do. Like, if that works for you, great. And there are some times when that works. If there's something in your environment that you need to notice more, write it down and make sure that you go back and look at that and say, "Oh yeah, I was going to be looking for that today." And then make sure you do follow through on that. But for the most part, journaling is just a whole bunch of,
Get your garbage on. It's like basically reliving in your own garbage. It's
yeah, yeah, exactly.
or it's like dirty bathwater that you're gonna clean yourself in constantly.
Oh gosh, that whole back in the day when
Yeah,
the man would come home and
yeah.
he got to bathe first,
And everyone came in after him. Yeah,
and then throw the baby out with the bathwater because the baby got
last. Yeah,
the one who should be cleanest first. Like, ugh. Anyway,
yeah, with the weakest immune system, probably.
so long story short, I have been working on and recognizing how I can bridge those two things in my own awarenesses. And now I have a path for that. So that's pretty cool. Recognizing that, faults that people have, faults that I have, are not necessarily deal breakers. They're not, they don't make me a horrible person. They don't make you a horrible person. It's just a habit that you have made, that I have made. There's a groove there. And now we have to try and figure out how to get to the the purified habit, right? So let's say that, uh, we have a habit of running late. Now, I used to be notorious for running late. Like, it didn't matter what it was, I was late. And it could be by as much as an hour or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but you're not
I
anymore. I noticed. Oh,
exactly, because I
yeah.
bridged that gap. I made sure that I understood that my time is valuable and so is everyone else's. So if I expect them to be on time, I have to be on time. And also, time is not linear. When I
No, it
started
is
to
not.
understand that time is not linear, I started to understand why it was that I was late. and then I could shift that. So can other people. They can do the same thing. Now, whether they want to or not is a completely different story. But one of the things that I learned this week was that people have a hard time wrapping their head around why Bon works or what it is or what what it's about.
I do.
So when we
Yeah,
start talking about our experiences, okay, well, you don't know who I was before if you just met me.
that
I
is
can
true.
tell you I was a dumpster fire rolling down an icy hill, but does that really mean anything to you? No, because you didn't see it, you didn't live it.
You have no context.
Right.
Right.
So when I give you stories about what I was like I had a friend who was dating a guy. They were in a rocky situation. I knew him separately from her. And I'm the one that kind of,
Come together.
sort of, a little bit. Um, he was a very straight-laced guy, and she looked like a very straight-laced girl, but was not. That was just her forward face. So uh, she was one of my best friends. I loved her to death. But he decided that he wanted to be with somebody else, and he didn't hook up with the person before he told my friend, but he knew he was going to hook up with her.
Oh,
And he told me first.
oh, interesting.
And I was
Not a
like, I
not a
don't
good
know what
move.
to do
Not
with
a
that
good move.
information.
Yeah.
So he told her that day, he's like, I'm going to tell her. And I'm like, good, because I would hate to think that I would have to call you out in front of her like that. That would kind of be crappy. So he told her, but he didn't tell her the whole story. And then later on, I was like, what's, why are you feeling this kind of way? And so she told me what happened and what he said. And I went, oh, she was crying. And I was like, are you sad? She goes, well, yeah. I said, why aren't you mad? She goes, why would I be mad? He just broke up with me. And I'm like, because he's kind of a male member. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't have the whole story. So so we were talking and she's like, are you trying to make me mad? And I'm like, well, yeah, because he did a butthead thing. And she goes, well, I'll be mad later. I want to be sad right now. And I did not understand that. I just wanted her to get past the suffering as soon as possible.
So here comes the karma. Yes, the wood energy. I'm gonna force this. You know who does that? You know who gets in trouble a lot for that? You know who has to eat crow because of that? That was my week.
But you learned.
I
And
know I
that's
have. Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah. See, I
And
have a tool. I can go back. I have my Tibetan astrology chart and cosmology, and I can go back into my base set and I go, where is that? Where is that in here? And oh, there it is. And I can track it. I can point it down, and I can say, okay, this is connected to this. It's like a mathematical equation in my head. It's like a chain of events. It starts here, it ends there, and it goes through all this stuff. And it's a whole habit thing that I've created to get from here to here to here to get this outcome.
yes.
But I've wired this thing so habitually over many, many lifetimes that I don't even think about it. I just go, and then at the end, I'm like, I didn't get the outcome I wanted. Gee, I wonder why. Instead, I'm getting conflict. This isn't good. Why is this? And then usually I go, I don't know. And then I keep doing it because I have the unknowing problem. And so because who wants to look at that? And so now I can go, oh, I got this thing. Well, instead of just reliving this over and over again and suffering over it, let's just track this thing down, find out, let's tear it apart and reverse engineer it. Oh, look, there it is. Let's fix this. Okay, there we go. Fixed. Problem solved. And that's the tools we're given here in Bonn. That's what Bonku gives us.
Absolutely.
They're
And
absolutely
when
amazing.
we
And I wish people could see that. and like go through this thing that we're talking about right here and experience for themselves, because we can make that happen. But it's like people don't want to, they don't know. It's like, I've never heard of that. Or they go look it up online and it's wrong information anyway, and they're like, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't collaborate with what they're saying, you know.
So one of the things that I have found is that we do this. We go to our base set and we go through the whole chart and we look at why we're doing the thing that we're doing, and we look at the links and we look at the this
Yeah.
and we look at the that, and we I heard a saying this week that, and when it was said, it had nothing to do with Bond, nothing. But me and my little twisted self, I was like, oh, do not cast pearls before swine.
Yeah, there's a proverb. Yeah.
Okay. So pearls is something that we know that we create. We encapsulate this information and we can shift our own personal view and other people's view of us and themselves, and et cetera, by using a process, a specific
Right.
process. If you do that and you are in a place of ignorance, and we are all in a place of ignorance, you will cast some nasty stuff into a thing you are trying to make permanent.
That's an excellent point, Bob. I
So,
like that.
knowing before we go into this, we know what we want, we know the outcome that we're looking for, we know how to get there, and we've mapped this thing, right? We got
Oh
all
yeah, I got
kinds of
this thing all
maps
mapped
inside of
out.
Bond.
Yeah.
We got all
Yeah.
kinds of maps. We have mapped it 3 ways to Christmas. We know what this is going to look like, and then we get there and it doesn't look like that, because one of our habitual patterns that we have running in the background that's on autopilot just bam goes in there and leaves a poop stain that we didn't know, and now we're trying desperately to clean it up. Can't. It's already
Yeah.
cast. So now we have to cast another one to fix the first one. And
Yeah.
the worst part about it is, if you don't catch it, if you don't know that that actually happened in that moment, you're just going to keep building on it.
Yeah. Or yeah. And then you're building the wrong pearls. And then, as Bonku would say, you're putting them on your necklace. Lifetime after lifetime after, it's like a collection. Let me hoard these horrible things. So it's like, yeah, you're just doing that, but that's such a good point. Yeah. Yeah, you have here.
uh, one of the things that I learned uh, when I started doing tankas was what the things mean, right? And the necklace of heads, some of them are skulls, and then
Cool. Yeah.
that's the past, and then some of them are fresh, and that's the present.
Yeah.
Well, Vajrabarahi has fresh heads because it's about being in the moment. And I was like, well, this face represents this, and this face represents this, and this face represents this. And Banku was like, yeah, that is kind of what it's like, but not for you. Like, it's my interpretation because I'm the artist, right? But that's not what that does that
That's
make
not
sense?
her perspective. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, ah, now I gotta go back and redefine these faces and think about it from her perspective, because I had ones that looked like Ed Sheeran because he has a song all about habits. I was like, well, that's perfect. Like that reminds me about
Yeah.
that specific kind of habit. Okay, that's perfect. But
Yeah.
back then in her area where she lived, people didn't look like him.
No, they did actually. No, they did not. Yeah, they didn't look like Ed Sheeran.
Nope. And
No.
I was like, for real? Like I have to do, he's like, no, you can leave it if you want. And I'm like, No, I want to be accurate, which is also another one of my habits that I, it's why it took me 11 months to do just a super simple tanka of Namtos, because I wanted to get it right. Like perfectionism kicked in, and I was like, that's not the right blue. Well, guess what? The entire background was blue. So I had to figure out how to get it to a point where I was okay with it and then stop. And he would work with me, he would help me, he would laugh at me a lot. Um, and sometimes it was he wasn't laughing at me, he was laughing with me, and sometimes he was just laughing at me. Like,
Is that
what the hell kind of a habit is that? Okay, well, I'll work on it.
well, one of the things that caught my attention early on was I think Bonku was talking about blind spots. Every human being has blind spots. These are habits that you have that you don't see. Other people might see them. Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. But there's always some habits that you have that you don't see because you're just blocking it out.
Yeah.
And these are the things that will trip you up every time because you're not seeing them. So when you're building these pearls to try to fix this problem over here, and you don't see this blind spot over here actually causing the problem, you're not fixing the problem. So it's like mathematics. You,
Yes.
you do a calculation incorrectly, and then everything after that is wrong. You have to go back to the calculation and fix that first, which is a habit in this scenario. But you don't see it because you have a blind spot. And then later it was in the TA process that we're taught, it's triune awareness. Um, we have a drawing exercise where we draw things we see throughout the day or whatever, and then we compare it to the original, and then we draw it over here from memory and compare it to the original. Because what you're looking for is what am I not seeing in here that I saw over here? Because it'll show you, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't include this color, I didn't include this over here. Why is this? That's your blind spot. So the exercise that we have in Bond trains you to see and recognize your blind spots. And when you can do that, you don't have to completely suffer over and over again trying to fix a problem you can't even see. And then, pride kicks in and says, well, I got this fixed. I only have this one thing left to do, and then I'm perfection. Well, no, did you forget about the blind spots? What? Yeah, we all got them, but are you sure you didn't catch those? You might want to you know, look at the blind spots or figure out a process of how you can even see it. Fortunately, there is a process. Triune awareness offered through
Absolutely.
offered through Bonku, offered through Bon. This is what we do day in and day out. We don't just do it as a practice. This is what we live.
This is the lifestyle. And
This
that's
is this is
that's
our
what
lifestyle.
that's what bond means. It means the way.
Yeah. This
This
isn't a
is
spiritual
the way that we
practice.
live.
Right.
So I've heard people talk about how, okay, well, I got I got this piece. I understand, and now I can move on. And then it comes back around and they're like, but I had that. Why is it here again? Why can't I seem to get past this? Well, you did. Got past the first layer. We are more like ogres than we know. We are layered,
And very oniony.
very oniony, very.
We are
Uh,
onion.
and as humans, yeah, we kind of do stink. We're useful. We are
Yeah.
useful.
But we peel off the top layer. We're like, peel the onion. And then there's like, what about the rest of it?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the thing that I have learned, okay, so something else that I wrote down.
Yeah.
Thought that this was really cool. I was listening to an interview with Matthew McConaughey, and he was talking. Somebody asked him a poignant question about what do you do when you're suffering right now, but you really want to invest in the future? How do you do that? So he read a poem, and it was basically all about how, you can suffer now and then you can suffer later, You dig in and you stick your face in it and you're like, this is terrible, this is awful, blah, blah, blah. Or you can recognize that there are goals to be had. There are ways that you can not suffer so much now and reach for the future. He talked about faith and he talked about religion, but the bottom line is if you have a goal that you're moving towards, every day will be a little bit better. Some days are going to feel like they're the bottom end of the horrible, but most days you can see that you are moving forward.
Yeah, he should be.
So one of the things that he said in that interview, whether he said it himself or whether he was quoting somebody else, I don't know. Sacrifice a plastic ring today for a gold crown tomorrow. And that's exactly how I feel about my habits and about reaching enlightenment. If I can let go of my nonsense today, which is a plastic ring, I can gain a gold crown, enlightenment, tomorrow. Yeah. If I can move towards that, I will reach my goal. I will reach it. And he talked about, sometimes people don't reach because it's such a big goal. He wasn't talking about enlightenment. He was just talking about goals in general. But sometimes people don't reach that this lifetime. Okay, well, if I'm not meant to reach that goal this lifetime because I'm, still digging into my habits or whatever, then I can set myself up for next lifetime. So we also know how to do that. Like,
yeah,
we have been given so much information that sometimes we get overwhelmed. And as a Sangha, we that's a real thing. We get overwhelmed because we have this tool and this tool and this tool, and we don't know which one to use. Okay, well,
we literally you're given the keys to the death. So when you die, we are taught. That doesn't mean you're automatically going to do it. You have to actually do it. You're taught how to choose your next life.
Yes.
Where you're going, how you're doing it, and the whole process, and how to navigate it. And we help other people do that through death. So it's one of the things we do.
What's crazy is that people, instead of saying, okay, I've got 50 different tools in front of me, I'm just going to pick one and see if it works. They stop and they freeze and they're like, well, I don't want to pick the wrong one. All of them are wrong if you don't pick any of them.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, you just choose one and start there, I guess. And if that doesn't work, choose another one.
Or if it works, but it doesn't work as efficiently as another tool, put that down. Pick up another one. You will start to recognize which one is which, especially if you're using your awarenesses. And at this point, the whole Sangha has had all of the teachings that we need in order to do that.
Right. And I counted recently all the empowerments. This is just empowerments. These aren't all the teachings. These are just empowerments for deities. We got 15. And Bonpo says it's rare if one person gets one in a lifetime. I got 15. I mean, you got probably more than I do. You've been in this for longer than I have, but that's a lot of tools.
No, I have the same amount that you do because the ones that I had before he redid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does redo them. Yeah.
So, and he did that so that we could all have them, which is huge.
Wonderful. Yeah.
But as a Bonpo, if he were to teach 3 of them in a lifetime, that would be a lot.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy from him to do that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm looking at this going, okay, what daily steps can I take to ensure that I'm going to reach my goal? I saw an interview with Tony Robbins, and he was talking about how if you want to reach a goal, so you have a goal, you want to reach it, the first thing you do is change your physiology. And I was like, huh, that's very interesting. Because in Bon, we are also taught how to do hypnosis and how to do, you know what I'm saying?
Or
Like all
linguistic
of the
programming,
things.
all the things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And those are things that Tony does. He just doesn't do them with Bon.
No, he does it with his stuff. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why you have
But
it.
I started to think about that. How could I make mantra, my mantra for me, not for anybody else? I'm not saying do this. I'm just
Right.
saying for me. How can I see? And I preface this by saying that because people are going to run out. They're going to do that because, well, Star does it. Well,
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
FFS.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Calm your tits. No one said you should do this. I'm saying this is what I'm doing. If you want to try it, that's cool. Try it. But it's just another tool. I don't know if it's going to work. I didn't do it yet. But what if I use mantra to change my physiology for the day?
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so. I think I could do that. Mantra
I
is
mean, the
resonant.
principles. It's resonant science, is what it is, and resonant science. If you do it correctly, you can change anything. You're
Exactly.
just changing the molecular structure vibrationally.
Exactly.
Right.
So if I can do this for myself, and Max will often do mantra with me in the morning, but it's about the intention, right? It's about okay, well, I want to align myself in this particular way for this day.
Mm.
What uh what effigy do I want to be today? What
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I were to use it in the capacity that Tony was talking about, what would that look like? Again, just a tool. Don't know if it's going to work,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah. You don't
I
know,
think
but
that that
why
would
not
be
try it?
really, really cool. Like, I could set my day up so that my goals were met and continue that through my awarenesses and my through the night, through the sleeping dream and the daydream and the waking dream and the you know
All right.
not the dead dream. I'm not going there, but not yet
No dead
anyway.
dreams. No Bardo. Thank you. Yeah.
Um, Something that I have also learned as a parent is I saw a post on Facebook. A mom she was just complaining. Not because, some people call it complaining, some people call it venting. She just needed a place to say, I'm super frustrated. You know, she's
Yeah.
got
She needs
kids and
space.
she's got a husband and she feels underappreciated and,
Mhm.
worn out. And then the husband comes home and he's like, hey, do you want to go out? She's like, no, I don't want to go out. I want to go to bed, you know? But she finds that she really does want to go out. She really does want to go do fun things, but she's so physically tired at the end of the day. She's mentally drained from having toddlers running around screaming at her all day. She's exhausted. She needs a break. So somebody in the group of moms, by the way, had the audacity to say, but you had kids.
Does that have to do with anything?
What the heck does that mean? Like, like somehow we know that when we're having kids that this is what it's going to look like. We have no idea. I had no idea that Max would be the way that he is, or that my niece's daughter would be the way that she is, or you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We don't know
No.
the personality that's going to come out when we have a kid,
Not until he's born.
right?
Because then
So,
you do his chart and find out. But till then, no.
and then we truly know.
Yeah.
So I found myself getting upset, and I was like, "Wow, way to be judgy McJudgerson." And then I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that look. I do that. I judge people,
Mm.
like like what I said in the beginning, like finding faults and not people not reaching
Right.
their potential. And instead of saying, oh, I see clearly using my awarenesses, the bridge that could be had, that could be used. And instead, I get all up in my uppities and I'm like, you're so mean. Nobody likes you anyway. Just push on. No, nobody cares. Okay, well, that's not true. Somebody does care. And that somebody would be me. Like, I totally took a cut because people have said that to me in the past. Well, you're the one that had a kid.
Do they have kids?
No,
Yes,
no.
that's why they said that. Yeah.
And I laugh and I'm like, yeah, I did. And
'Cause they
but
don't know that part either.
you don't get to come back and complain about it. I don't. Okay.
You don't get to complain.
Right? Like I'm not human because I had a kid.
Right. Well,
You
not
know,
only that, but they just totally discredit themselves. It's like, okay, what have you done that you regret? Like, not regret, but what have you done that you're complaining about now that, I could just tell you, hey, you're the one who did that. Stop complaining.
right. Right,
All right.
exactly. And I look at this and I go, "Oh, oh, there it is. There's the mirror. Like
Right.
I need to look at this from a different view. I need to step back. This is not even mine. They didn't even say it to me." But I recognized that a whole bunch of people jumped on this person. And the woman that said it was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was having my own bad day." And then she wrote like a laundry list of things that she is going through at the same time that she saw this other woman going through these things. And her instinct in her head was, there is nothing going on with you that you can't handle. Like, so what? Your kids are screaming. In 3 months, they'll be talking. And 3 months after that, they'll be, asking why. Like, but this woman who said that, she's dealing with cancer and she's of her own. And she's dealing with all of the treatments that are going on with that. She has an ailing father and she's got, small children of her own. And her husband is constantly working to try and help pay the bills. And also because he's avoiding being home because he can't face the fact that she's sick. So all
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
this is culminating for her, and she lashed out at somebody else.
Yeah.
And instead of those same people, well, shame on you because you shouldn't have said that to somebody else when you're going through all of this, the entire group started to form this bubble around these two people. They were supportive. They were, hey, is there anything that I can do to help? Can I, do you have a Venmo? Can I send you money? Or, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Do you need groceries? I'm in your area. They looked up the information. I'm in your area. Can I drop off groceries? Like, hey, I made extra food. I can bring it over. And like all of the sudden it went from shaming and blaming and judging and all the things to, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. How can I help? And I thought about that and I was like, okay, if we could do that in the Sangha, if we could, instead of judging each other, find a way to support each other. Hey, I'm close to you. If you need food, I can drop it off. If you're, going through something and you need a place to vent, I'm here. But because of our tools, because of what we know to be true, we know that a lot of times those things don't help. When we're going through some kind of situation, the last thing that we need to do is dig in, stick our face in it, and be like, this is so terrible. You know, like, get over it. Yes, it sucks. Yeah, I live with the cosmic scrub brush. I get it. There are days where I just like Max is screaming at me because he is going through something, and I don't know how to fix that. I can't penetrate his mind. I
No,
can't
because he
even
doesn't. he doesn't communicate like anyone else.
He really doesn't.
No.
So what I do is I redirect and I redirect and I redirect and I redirect until we get to a place where we can be on common ground. But if he is
Mm.
in my face screaming at me, I I have to back up. Sometimes I have to back up behind a locked door because I will smack the snot out of you. Get out of my face screaming at me. I didn't do anything to you. And I get defensive and I get angry and
Yeah.
no, that's bad. So instead of getting defensive, instead of getting angry, I walk away. And then,
Mm.
I go do whatever, whatever that is. But I have found this week, because Max is going through some changes in his body and he's going through some changes in his hormones, and he's recognizing that he doesn't always like himself. So in those moments where he gets sad and like he will uh like he'll get angry at himself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no need to, to hit yourself or, to internally tell yourself that you're a horrible person or anything like that. Instead, let's go have a dance party. Let's go, do all of the things that will make us feel better. And circling back, I thought about that. The first thing that happens when we wake up, sometimes we wake up and we are in a poop mood. Like it just happens, right? Like something
Yeah.
happens with our chemistry and it's off and we feel bad. Well, if we got up and we did that change the physiology thing, if we did mantra on purpose that was, at a specific frequency that we recognized with the effigy and we all the tools, could we change that? Yes, we could. Not only could we, but we probably should.
I mean, there's that experiment that Bonku always does, where you can make your, was it your hands bigger and smaller at
Yes,
will.
yes, 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 yes.
So if you could do that and actually change within seconds the size of your hand compared to your
Yes.
other hand, and then and then make it back again, then you could do this.
So I have I have thought about this. I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to be a fatty boobalatti anymore. How can I fix this? Well, one of the things that I have to do is let go. And I don't mean like let go
And let's let
like
it
that.
go. Yeah.
I, I don't mean that. I mean the stress that I carry is the stress that everyone else has. Like I think that I should be responsible for everybody else. If somebody is feeling pain, I don't want them to suffer, so I take it on.
Yeah.
Well, that's stupid.
That's your
I
cosmology.
mean, that's like, wow, that is, I have a
Yeah.
pic coming out the side of my head, kind of, like
All right.
what is that about?
Yeah.
Talk about ignorance. So I have to let that go. And when I let that go, what does that feel like? What does that look like? How can I use my awarenesses to recognize that the last thing that I need to do is hold myself down, weigh myself down literally with everybody else's crap. Um, this started because I recognized that Banku was going through some hard moments.
Hmm.
He suffers for us. And I didn't want him to suffer so much. So I tried to take it off of him. Do you know what happens to a human that does that?
You get sick.
They get sick and they die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can't do that.
No.
Again, who do I think I am that I'm capable of doing such a thing?
Taking that much on yourself. Yeah.
Right. But I didn't think
He's
about that.
built for it, even though it's hard.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I see as him suffering is necessity. And the last thing that I want to do is make it harder for him. So now he's trying to make sure I don't die. And he's like, what are you doing? Why do you keep doing this? Because I don't want you to suffer. He's like, stop that. Okay, well, now I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how not to do that. I don't know how not to care like that. And that's
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
right. The idea is sometimes we need something much more tangible than just an air hug. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we need just a kind word, you know?
Right.
I'm so happy that this is the way that our life is right now. I'm grateful that we get to do this. I'm grateful that we get to learn these lessons. But dang it, is it hard sometimes? And I I don't like watching Banku have to go through that, you know, when people are competing with him and they're trying to, you know, say that they know what they're talking about when they don't. When there are false teachers everywhere, you know, this and the Meneville intent are growing and it's weighing on him. And I don't know how to be the kind of person that watches that and doesn't do anything about it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Right.
how can I not? How can I not want to help? How can I not want to support that? Well, the kind of help that I think that I could be giving is not the kind of help that he needs. He needs me to become the potential that I have. He needs me to do my practices. He needs me to use my awarenesses and get into my observer on a permanent basis, not just I can do it while I'm sitting kind of a thing. I will never ever stand again if I can just do this forever. Um, and that's not how Bond works at all. Bond works
Yeah.
because we get up off the cushion. Um, one of the things that all of us have seen is that Banku will uh he will it very much looks like he's talking bad about the Buddhists. And
Well, yeah, yeah. Right.
kind of is because they don't have the best intentions. They don't have the teachings that they need to teach. And they do have the arrogance that they think that they're so great because they're doing these practices. Yeah, y'all can't even be enlightened.
No,
So
they don't have that process.
back it up. No, nobody is trying to compete with you. Nobody is trying to say that you're, this or that. Just recognize, see it, and recognize it. I don't care how you continue. If you want to be a part of Bond and you want to actually reach that level, great. But don't make it harder for Banku.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bon, Bon predated Buddhism. That's a fact.
And Buddhism sprung from Bond
Bon, that's a fact.
because they took the teachings that they could write down and they ran away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Without
good for you.
learning all of them.
And
And then
now
they
they're
added
led
stuff
by the
to it.
Meneville intent. Well, that's
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you. And I mean that sarcastically on every level.
You know, so we're talking about the leadership, right? So what I keep seeing this week, there's all this chaos going on in this country and elsewhere over politics. We don't really discuss politics here. There's a reason for that because we don't take sides because you're basically talking about a two-headed monster that's basically going back to one source. The whole thing is just wrong. So we don't take sides because we don't want to play the game. Anyway, on that topic, I keep seeing everyone saying, we need a hero. Like I see posts, people putting this out into the universe. We need a hero. They don't define what that hero is. And that's a problem because someone's going to pick up this wish and become the hero. But what what I keep saying is that people keep asking for a hero. These are my thoughts because becoming the hero costs something themselves. It costs it costs comfort. It costs approval. It costs the fantasy that someone else will do the hard work for you and you don't have to do anything. This hero comes along and does it all for you. He makes the sacrifice. He does everything. He sacrifices his comfort so that he can take care of you. You get, so you have this whole fantasy thing. But I think that if people really wanted a hero, instead of just sitting back doing nothing and wishing or hoping that someone comes along as a savior and saves you, I think it's better if you that if you want a better world, you don't wait for a savior. You practice being the kind of person that you wish existed already. You become reliable. You tell the truth. You build skills. You protect the vulnerable. You tame your own mind. You handle your own fear, and you do it while no one's clapping. And I think that that makes a good leader. And so instead of all of us as humans sitting back and waiting for this leader, some hero to show up and save the day, we need to become that hero. If that's what we want, we need to become that and do
What
it.
you are describing right there, those
Mhm.
words, like I love that. Those words right there describe Banku.
Yes, it does. And that's
And
where I was thinking about Bonku, and that's why I came up with that. Yeah.
and when they meet him, they say, he's not a hero. That's not the kind of hero that I wanted. I want somebody to do it for me.
Yeah.
Well, piss
Fix me.
off,
I don't want to fix myself. Yeah.
right? Piss
Right.
off. No, no, nobody's going to do it for you. Why? Because they can't. They can't. Only you can fix you. Only you can fix your habits. Only you can fix your all of the things that you have gone astray on. Only you can do that. So you are absolutely right. The only way to find a hero is to become one. No, no one is saying that you have to go all the way to Banku. I'm not, but I will say, if you want a hero, step up.
Yeah.
Like,
Do
message
something. Don't
us.
sit back and wish.
Yeah,
And
message us. Let's get hooked
and
up
if
with
you
Banku so that he can help.
yeah, and if you and I'm not going to pick on Christianity, but Christianity, a lot of them are like I already got a hero. I got Jesus. He's going to come save me. He's going to come save the day. Well, I sit back and do nothing. So
Right.
as you're sitting back doing nothing, waiting for Jesus to come back and save the show, and you, all the horrible people are out being the leader horribly, and they're becoming the hero, the anti-hero, so to speak. They think, but they think they are your hero.
Right.
They think they're helping. They think they're, well, I don't know if they think they're helping you, but maybe they do. I don't know. But you're creating a power vacuum here by doing nothing. And these anti heroes are going to come in and take over. And that's kind of what we see taking place in the world. And that's what we call them the men of ill intent. So,
Welcome to Penno, right?
yeah. So we got
That
all these
that's
religions
exactly
out
what.
there.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah. So as we're, following up on what we were doing last week, which was, the Peno and all the prophecies from different perspectives, cultures, religions, and so on, the end times, why we got here in the first place. I think that has a lot to do with why we got here and why we're, they're all waiting for this hero to show up and save the day while they sit back and do nothing. And that creates the power vacuum. It's for the end times to show up, and we're in it now, and they're still waiting for the hero to come and fix the problem. And while we're doing that, all we're doing is allowing anyone who's an anti-hero to come in, save the day in their own image, and destroy everything, destroy us. And then it gets harder and harder and harder for any hero to come in and save the day. Right now, we can't have one hero. We have Bonku, and he's not going to do this by himself. He needs humans to do this. This is a human problem
He can
created by humans.
he physically cannot fix this for us. He mentally, spiritually, he can't. If we don't do this for ourselves, we will end up in the worst possible place because we
Yeah,
didn't
and
do
that's where we're heading.
anything to help ourselves. Now,
And people go, "What can I do?" A lot.
yes, a lot. That is a great response. A lot. You can tame your own mind. You can fix your habits. You can help other people. You can support the you can support the hero we got. Good
If you want a
gravy.
hero, help build one.
Like this is the bane of my existence at this point, that
Yeah.
people can't wrap their heads around supporting him. He literally sacrificed everything
Yeah.
for us so that we could have a Pure Land, so that we could have the opportunity to do what it is that we're doing. And people poop on that. And they're like, that's nothing. That's, Jesus is coming to save me. Well, keep digging into your habits and keep digging into your, just, I'm going to have my beer on Sunday and I'm going to have my cigarettes Monday through Friday and, whatever. Dig into your habits and kill yourself slowly and see where that gets you. Because I
Yeah.
promise you it's
Well,
not very good.
yeah, they're going to go to heaven. So, yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
Right.
Well, for the rest of us, we'd like to make this place a heaven. So if you'd like to help us do that, please do.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I've learned from Bonpo is that with there's turnings and there's world ages and
Yeah. And the
there
Bible talks
was
about world ages. There, in the Bible, there's in Revelations, there's three world ages.
and
It's
do you know
not
why
talking
there's
about,
three? Because they
yeah,
they are not prepared for this.
yeah.
They're
Well,
not
we're already at
prepared for the fourth one.
the fourth one, which starts in what, T minus 16 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So so one of the things that he has talked about, Bonpo has talked about, is how during one of the world ages, there was over 1,000 years of peace.
It's in the Bible too.
And we had, as humans, we had so many things that came out of that. People were fulfilled and they were able to be enlightened because they didn't have anything blocking them. People were nice to each other. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but they were nice to each other. They wanted each other to succeed, and they didn't have to, compete with each other all the time about, in a negative way. Sometimes it's really fun to be in a race, whether you're building something or you're running or, you can learn from each other in that way. Oh, they run because they pick up their feet differently than I do. That's why they're faster. Oh, that's cool. Oh, he planes wood differently than I do. Maybe if I did that, then I could build this thing better and faster myself. Awesome. So we learn from each other. There's no, I'm going to kill you and wars and I hate you. And, it's not that people didn't get angry. They did, but they learned what to do with that anger. It wasn't a vendetta that will last 3 generations.
And like this 1,000 years of peace and prosperity that you were just talking about, that's in the Bible too. Ezekiel chapter 48 to the end and Revelation chapter 22. See, we know these things too. But it's written there too. So perhaps that already happened. I don't know.
Oh, and perhaps it could happen again. I mean,
Yes,
I'm
because
not
history
saying that I'm
repeats
an
itself.
advocate for peace because,
Well, yeah, but history does repeat itself.
yes. And
Yeah,
if it can repeat itself badly, it can repeat itself
repeat itself. Goodly.
goodly.
Goodly. There's a
Yes, I
word.
know. That's a
I'm
word.
inventing words now on a Monday. Well, our hour is up.
All right.
So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. Or if you have
Yes,
thoughts, you
please.
have ideas, you have opinions that pertain to saving the world, because that's what we're all about. Not just talking about it, we actually want to do it.
And
But
how
we
do
need
we do
help.
that? We do that by controlling our own minds. We tame our own
Yes,
minds. We control our own habits. We pay attention to our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. This is not about saving the world at large. It's about saving the world one person at a time, which
starting
means
with ourselves.
exactly, which
Yeah,
means people have to step up and start doing that for themselves.
yeah.
But we know a guy.
We know a guy, he knows what he's doing. We've all gone through it, and that's why we're
Yeah,
here talking about it, because it works.
right?
Why would we sit here and do this for free and not and waste our time if it didn't work?
Totally. And you know what? Honestly, I don't feel like it's wasting our time. I
That's
feel
not.
like we have a lot of people that want to be on board, but they don't have they don't have the questions yet. So
Right.
if we keep talking, they're going to
Maybe they'll have the
form
questions.
questions and they're going to be able to say that's
Right.
the thing I want to know about. And then they can come to Banku. So I think
Yeah,
that's pretty
because
cool.
I have to believe that there are people out there, you watching now, who want a better world, who want to be better themselves, who want to make improvements and do better. But then maybe you don't know how. You don't know where to
Yeah.
start. You don't know where to go. You don't know the process, and you're trying to figure it out. Well, this guy says here, and this guy over here, well, there's a process that does work, and all you have to do is be curious, basically, and keep watching and ask the questions. We want to hear your questions. There's an email somewhere around here that I post, and you could contact us, or you can contact us on Facebook. We now have a one sheet too, so you can request our one sheet that talks about the show, and if you'd like to be on it, it gives you all the information. So we created
And
that successfully.
speaking of, we have
Yes,
a new guest next week, and I'm really excited to talk to her, and
yes,
it'll be a surprise. So we'll see you next week.
yes. And until then, have a good day, and don't be afraid to reach out, and we can help you and point you in the right direction as far as taming your mind goes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Bye.
soon. Bye.